Before we start, let me introduce our team. My name is Inaris Kamulyadi as the first speaker and moderator.
My name is Laila Maskura Sadiati as the second speaker.
My name is Devani Mariatan as the third speaker.
And Raditya Wahyuditama as the last speaker.
Okay, let's jump into the topic first. Okay, what is speaking? There are three experts. Yang pertama, according to Cheney, speaking is the process of making and sharing meaning by using verbal and non-verbal symbols in different contexts. Jadi Cheney ini menjelaskan bahwa speaking adalah proses membuat dan membagikan makna dengan memanfaatkan simbol verbal seperti kata-kata dan juga non-verbal seperti bahasa tubuh, gesture, dan juga intonasi dalam berbagai konteks sosial. Artinya, berbicara bukan hanya soal kemampuan menggunakan kata-kata, melainkan bagaimana cara seorang menggunakan bahasa tubuh mereka, intonasi dan juga gesture dalam menyampaikan pesan yang dapat dipahami oleh lawan bicara. Kemudian ada pendapat dari Brown, Burns, and Joyce yang mengatakan speaking as an interactive process of making meaning that includes producing, receiving, and processing information. Jadi, para pendapat ini mengatakan bahwa speaking adalah proses interaktif yang artinya terjadi pertukaran dua arah antara pembicara dan juga pendengar. Para ahli ini juga menekankan bahwa terdapat tiga komponen utama dalam speaking. Yang pertama adalah producing, receiving, and processing information. Yang pertama, producing artinya menghasilkan bahasa lisan, kemudian receiving artinya menerima dan memahami respons dari lawan bicara, kemudian yang terakhir adalah processing information yang artinya mengolah informasi secara cepat dalam situasi komunikasi. Jadi berbicara merupakan aktivitas dinamis yang menuntut seseorang untuk menuntut kemampuan untuk merespons secara spontan dalam situasi komunikasi. Kemudian yang terakhir ada pendapat dari Bygate yang mendefinisikan speaking as the production of auditory signals to produce different verbal response in listeners. Jadi Bygate di sini mendefinisikan speaking adalah proses menghasilkan sinyal auditori atau bunyi yang dapat memicu respon pendengar. Menurutnya, speaking adalah proses yang melibatkan penggabungan bunyi secara sistematis sehingga menghasilkan kalimat yang bermakna. Kemudian pendapat ini juga menekankan aspek linguistik seperti fonologi, struktur kalimat, dan juga kelancaran dalam menyusun kalimat. Mungkin itu saja dari saya. Kemudian speaker kedua akan menjelaskan topik selanjutnya.
Okay, I will continue the next material, which is problems in speaking. The first is grammar difficulty. Many students feel difficult when they learn grammar because complex grammar rules such as the use of tenses, preposition, or modal verbs can be confusing and frustrating because students usually use the language without thinking the grammar. And second is slow vocabulary. Vocabulary is the foundation of communication in any language. Many people struggle with memorizing the vocabulary or even forget what the thing is named. For example, they forget how to call the things that they usually use, like that. And shyness and fear of speaking. Students something feel insecure about their speaking. So they usually feel afraid to make a mistake to speaking in front of people, and lack of motivation and consistency. Many people feel enthusiastic at the beginning, but they lose interest to learn about the public speaking, for example, because they don't have motivation to asah their skill to increase or develop their kemampuan speaking, like that. And the last is pronunciation issues, because some English sounds are not present in our native language. So many students usually because our native language is not English, many students feel difficult to pronunciation the English language because the pronunciation is not the same in our mother tongue. For example, in Indonesia and English, they are not the same pronunciation. So many students feel difficult to pronunciation the new English language, and often guess to how read from the spelling. I think that's all from me. Next, we'll continue by our partner.
Hello everyone, I'm Rifani Madiatun as the third speaker, and this is my topic, which is the solution for learners. So we separated the solution into two parts, which are the first one is the solution for learners, and the second one is the solution for the teaching itself or the learning itself. And the first one is the solution for learners, which is we would like to discuss right now. And solution for learners, there are 4 solutions that we could give to you based on the reference that we got from student speaking practice problems and solutions from Anita Sadia et al. The first one is the auditory exposure and shadowing with modern technology. So when English plays as a second language or a foreign language, or especially the foreign language, we would have like less exposure of English in our environment, right? So we would likely to have less to listen to English words or vocabulary or even the pronunciation of the native speaker itself. And this less exposure makes us like difficult to know like how the pronunciation of some words in English, because it is different from our mother tongue or from our native language. So that's why the first solution is auditory exposure and shadowing with modern technology. Why we have to put the modern technology here? Because our solution is to give you like you should have the exposure of English language by like going into YouTube or social media or any social media that you can get native speaker talk in it. So for example, in YouTube you can use podcasts, for example, to listen to people's talk or to the native talk. So you can hear like, for example, they are saying hello, what's she doing, for example, like that sentence, and then you heard that from that podcast, and then you have to shadowing that. Shadowing, it means that you repeat or you mimicking what they talk about. Not only the sentence but also the accent, the readings, and then the stress in the pronunciation and all. So you can be you can be more familiar with the English words if you are shadowing and you have the exposure of it, because we are in a modern world, so you can get all of those exposure in these days. And then the second one is the consistent extensive reading. Consistent extensive reading is for like low vocabulary problem that my friends have been explaining before, because when we want to enhance our vocabulary, we have to enhance also our receptive skills also, which is reading. So therefore, consistent extensive reading is one of the solution for the low vocabulary itself, because we want students to read the text, the authentic text, which is based on the real communication in real life, and then they would likely to read their level text, which is, for example, they are in A1 level, then they have to read the A1 to A2 level, so they could encounter the new vocabularies in their in the text that they read. And therefore, when they encounter like new words repeatedly, for example, then it will make them remembering the word or the vocabulary more easier in the various contexts that they read in the text. So therefore, the problems of low vocabulary could be tackled by this solution, or the consistent extensive reading itself. And the third one is having language partner. So of course, if you want to speak, we cannot just rely on how we speak on ourselves, for example, mirror in front of the mirror, for example, and all. We have to having a dialogue, for example, with people, so we could have a conversation, a real conversation with people. So if you want a partner, then in this modern world, in this modern era, you can get the partner, even a native language partner, in a language exchange apps. For example, like HelloTalk, you can go into HelloTalk and then go search for a native speaker in English, and then you could talk to them daily about a real conversation. So you could encounter like how the slang, the idioms, and how the real life conversation going on with the native speaker itself. So it would make you also more confident and less anxious, because you already talk with native, right? So in real life, when you talk with people, with your friends or with your teacher, for example, you can be more confident about it because you've already talked with the native anyway. And then the last one is the building speaking habit, because we want speaking is not like something that you could get enhanced or get advanced in one day, in one night. It's not like that. So you have to build the habit of speaking English, so your mind or your brain would likely to be more familiar with it, and you don't have to translate. For example, when you're having a conversation with people and then they talk with you in English, you don't have to translate their words first and then you translate it in your mind, then you after that then you can reply them. Not like that. If you are having the habit of speaking English because you are already like regularly or repeatedly or more often hearing or listening to the native speaker or to the English sentences, so you can get it, so you can understand the sentences or the conversation without even translating it in your mind. So that's how you can build English speaking advance. Because if you want to be more advanced in speaking, then you can use this solution for it. And if you want to tackle the problems that my friends already told you, then you can also use this solution, 4 solutions for you to advance or to enhance your speaking skill. So that's all from me. Thank you very much, and let's go to the next topic.
Oke, baik. Sekarang kita memasuki solusi untuk student speaking skill dari segi pedagogis. Di sini saya memberikan 3 model atau metode sebagai untuk kita atau untuk para guru, para pendidik dalam memaksimalkan pembelajaran, terutama yang berpusat pada speaking skill para siswa. Yang pertama sih, metode ini saya pilih berdasarkan hasilnya, berdasarkan penelitian yang telah dilakukan dan berdasarkan hasilnya. Yang pertama yaitu role playing method. Seperti penjelasannya, this method engages student by having them act out character in realistic scenarios. Jadi metode ini sangat berkontekstual dan dia sangat interaktif. Metode ini penerapannya cukup sederhana. Kita memberikan sebuah topik dan kita membagi kelas berdasarkan beberapa grup. Nanti untuk tiap anggota, tiap kelompok, mereka akan diberikan topik-topik atau cerita tertentu di mana tiap anggota akan berperan pastinya di dalam cerita itu, dan mereka akan menerapkannya di depan siswa-siswa lain. Metode ini sangat mendukung interaksi dan pastinya sangat mendorong siswa untuk berbicara, terutama di depan untuk melatih speaking skill mereka. Kalau jika berdasarkan hasil dari penelitian Prasetyo, metode ini memberikan hasil yang cukup maksimal dikarenakan peningkatan skor dari para siswa yang sebelumnya 50% sampai meningkat menjadi sekitar 88%. Itu peningkatan yang cukup signifikan. Jadi berdasarkan penelitian itu, metode ini memberikan hasil yang cukup memuaskan, terutama dalam mengembangkan skill speaking siswa, bukan hanya dari konsepnya namun juga dari hasilnya. Selanjutnya, show and tell method. Sudah cukup sederhana. Students bring a personal object to class, show it and describe it to their peers. Jadi tiap siswa sebagai guru, kita memberikan tugas untuk memberikan barang-barang, untuk membawa barang-barang, entah barang apa itu, barang favorit, barang keseharian mereka bawa ke dalam kelas, dan saat waktu pembelajaran kita memberikan mereka kesempatan untuk datang untuk ke depan dan menjelaskan barang itu. Di sini metode ini sangat mendukung dan sangat melatih kemampuan deskriptif para siswa dalam mendeskripsikan benar. Kalau jika dari penelitian ini dari Mas Ari, ia menggunakan penelitian ini dan hasilnya juga cukup signifikan, yakni peningkatan skor yang di atas 70, yang di atas nilai 70 atau di atas KKM. Dan terakhir, talking stick model. Ini cukup sederhana juga. Kita membuat baris lingkaran satu kelas, dan metodenya kita tempatkan sebuah stick, sebuah tongkat di tengah, dan kita putar. Jadi kita mengajak siapa akan berbicara. Kita memberikan suatu topik spesifik atau suatu pertanyaan di mana yang terpilih akan menjelaskan atau akan berbicara. Dan setelah giliran selesai, dia bisa meneruskannya ke teman di sebelahnya untuk melanjutkan pertanyaan yang serupa, atau kita berikan pertanyaan yang berbeda. Nah, berdasarkan penelitian yang saya pilih, penelitian oleh Bugis dan Bokrit, metode ini menunjukkan peningkatan skor berdasarkan 2 siklus. Di siklus pertama, mereka masih memiliki skor yang cukup sederhana, belum ada peningkatan. Namun setelah penerapan lebih lanjut untuk model pembelajaran ini, nilai mereka meningkat dengan meningkat menjadi seperti metode-metode sebelumnya, yakni di atas KKM. Jadi terlihat ada peningkatan yang cukup yang sangat memuaskan dengan menggunakan model ini. Jadi itu ketiga metode yang saya sertakan di sini. Namun sebenarnya tujuan utama, objektif utama dari seorang guru tidak hanya untuk menerapkan motif yang memaksimalkan untuk di topik ini speaking skill para siswa, namun juga menciptakan lingkungan yang nyaman dan bebas dari tekanan. Jadi saya sertakan metode ini karena mereka sangat interaktif dan semua orang punya giliran. Jadi itu metode saya. Terima kasih.
Okay, that's all from our team. Let's move to the conclusion. So the conclusion is, speaking is an attractive skill that involves making and sharing meaning through verbal and non-verbal communication. Learners often struggle with vocabulary, grammar, confidence, pronunciation, and motivation, which limit their ability to speak effectively. To address these issues, engaging teaching methods such as role-playing, show and tell, and talking stick along with independent strategies like consistent practice, auditory exposure, and speaking habits can help students build fluency and confidence. Overall, effective speaking development requires meaningful practice and supportive learning environments. Thank you. That's all from our group. Thank you for your attention.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.